Mr. Lemonsello's Great Library Race. Chapter 2. Since the Dunes Cap was only a hologram, it couldn't actually trap Kyle. But its laser-generated sides were equipped with motion sensors. So when Kyle tried to step out from under the flickering image of a giant parking cone-shaped hat, he triggered some pretty embarrassing sound effects, mostly gassy blats and fwats. All the other players were cracking up, so Kyle took a goofy bow and activated the motion sensors again. Whoop! That's Keely, all right, snickered Charles. Nothing but windy blasts of gas. You're right, said Kyle, taking another bow and activating another. Thwomp! And you were in the lead, Charles, so you win. Congratulations. He stuck his hand out in and out of the laser grid to blare a gassy fanfare to the tune of Happy Birthday to You. Blap, 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 flump, flump. All right, cried a no-nonsense voice in the midst of the laughter. Shut it down. We need to iron out that glitch. There were 6 stumps and a loud whir. Then the holographic Rube Goldberg contraption disappeared. A bald man in a lab coat stepped out of the shadows, toting a tablet computer the size of a paperback. Switch on the Wonder Dome, he said to the flat screen he held in his palm. Instantly, the 10 wedge-shaped high-definition video screens lining the library's colossal cathedral ceiling started shimmering as the dome went from black to its swirling full-circle kaleidoscope mode. Friends, announced Mr. Lemonsello, marching across the round as marble floor toward the man in the white coat. Allow me to introduce you to the library's brand new head Imagineer, Mr. Chester Chechi Ramo, the genius behind my new mind-boggling, big and wacky gymnasium games. He cleared his throat and wobbled. Mr. Ramo is a brilliant braino. What he does is hard to explain-o. Mr. Ramo was so busy tapping his tablet he didn't realize that Mr. Lemonsello was singing his phrases. The head Imagineer wore thick black-rimmed glasses and a skinny black necktie, and had seriously slumped shoulders. He looked like he could work for the mission control at NASA. I believe we might need to make a few minor adjustments before we roll it out to the schools, said Mr. Ramo. Those sound effects activated when the loser attempts to escape were supposed to be burglar alarms, not farts. I know, said Mr. Lemonsello. I changed them. Mr. Ramo nodded, tapped his tablet again, dully noted. Thank you, Chief. Mr. Lemonsello threw open his arms and in a very loud voice addressed the players still standing in various spots along the game board. And thank you, one and all, for participating in this trial run of my newest gaming concept. Soon we will be able to take these same portable hologram projectors to gymnasiums, cafetoriums, and if we hold our breath, natatoriums. So schools, even those with swimming pools, can use my life-size board game as fundraisers. Free of charge, of course. I really enjoyed the game, said Saria Russell, Kyle's bookworm friend. I was able to read 2 whole chapters while I was waiting for everybody else to spin and take their turn. It was awesome, agreed Kyle, who loved all of Mr. Lemonsello's wacky games, even the ones he lost. Totally, added Miguel. It's a rip-off, scoffed Charles Chillington, who had been trying to run Mr. Lemonsello out of town ever since the eccentric billionaire first came home to Ohio and spent his $500 million building at Alexanderville the most extraordinary high-tech library in the world. I beg your pardon, Charles, said Mr. Lemonsello, blinking repeatedly. A rip-off? It's just a warmed-over version of that old parlor game. Botticelli, you should be more inventive, like the Crinkle Brothers. The Crinkle Brothers owned a huge game company that, in Kyle's humble opinion, made extremely boring board games and dull, generic stuff. like Chinese checkers, patches, and dominoes. In fact, Kyle had come up with his own ad slogan for the rival game maker: "If it's a crinkle, then it's gonna stinkle." "See you later, losers." Charles marched out of the Ronda reading room. Cal sometimes wondered why Charles was still allowed to come to the Lemonsello library. He and his parents had done so much to try to wreck Mr. Lemonsello's dreams.